I build all of my wellness programs on hydration. And this is a real problem when we're spending all day or a lot of our day in front of a computer. So the electromagnetic energy that basically is in our environments is very dehydrating. And what most of us don't realize is that we're already walking around partially dehydrated. Hydration is a tricky thing. So I always like to say, my good friend, Tom Brady, he's a big proponent of using hydration as a tool, as like a superpower. So when Tom Brady gets up in the morning, he has 24 ounces of filtered water, which he boosts with electrolyte drops. And the electrolyte drops are crucial. If you've ever read an article that talks about people drinking too much water and it could potentially, be dangerous. That's because they're not adding these electrolytes. They're not adding the essential salts and elements that we need to get the water into our cells. So if you're a business builder, your first job is to take really good care of yourself. Got to get that oxygen mask on yourself so that you have what it takes to build your brand. You've got to have good sleep. There is stress. Life is stressful, but you've got to take care of you. So you've got enough to keep building your brand and your business. And so many entrepreneurs and business owners just don't do this part.
And that's what I was going to ask you is because I put a note in the chat here. Do you all here in the Zoom room with us, do you believe you're currently properly hydrated? I'd love to see your answers in the chat, yes or no, because I want to see, first of all, if everybody, what side we no. Suzanne says no. Dan says no. Ruth says no. Start to see a pattern here. So tell us then, what are we missing? Because obviously we hear this all the time. This is something. Oh, Afi says yes. So good job, Afi. JD Waters life sure is. Gabriella, as much as I try to be mindful. So yeah, so tell us what's the secret here? Why are we all saying we're not when we know that this is true?
So hydration's a practice. Everything you're going to do in your business is a practice. Right? So you're going to learn to do something, then you're going to improve on it, and you're going to keep doing it. And that's how you're going to build momentum. That's how you're going to grow your business and your brand. It's that consistency. So hydration truly is life. From 60 to 80% of our body is water. All of our major organs use water and hydration to function properly. And almost all of us are partially dehydrated because number one, we're not adding the crucial ingredient, which is the electrolyte drop. So we're not getting that hydration into our cells. We get hydrated. There's only two ways we can get hydrated: what we eat and what we drink. And water is an essential nutrient. That means the body can't make it. It has to get it from an outside source. So fruits and vegetables are the hydrating way that we help our body to hydrate, and then water. And a well-hydrated body is consuming about 100 ounces of water a day. Not all at once. Nobody should be drinking 100 ounces of water at one time, not large amounts of water. And what people love to say is, well, I'm going to be in the bathroom all the time if I drink all that water.
Right.
So we are partially dehydrated. Sipping 8 to 10 ounces of water an hour for 8 to 10 hours a day is how we become properly hydrated. It takes 2 weeks to become properly hydrated. So just drinking water isn't the same as having a hydration practice. So if there's one thing you're going to take away from this conversation today, it's that you need a hydration practice. It is essential for you building your business and having the stamina to go the distance with it. When we are properly hydrated, we make better decisions. That's all kinds of decisions. That's business decisions. It's decisions about the person in front of you who didn't use a blinker when they were turning right. It's emotional decisions with family members. So if you want to make better decisions, you need to be properly hydrated. If you want to have lower stress, so you're all here because you are building a business or a brand, and it's a stressful thing. So if you need to lower your stress level, hydration can help you do that. Hydration also helps improve the quality of your sleep. So if you're partially dehydrated, it can affect the quality of your sleep. And think about this. As you age, if you're dehydrated, you have less muscle pliability. So if you have a fall or if you go to the gym, I mean, we have all done this. I've gone to the gym. I've used weights that are too heavy. I've pulled something. It's taken weeks to recover. If you're well hydrated, you're going to have less of those situations. So hydration is your low-hanging fruit of wellness. It is the basis that you need to establish for building your brand, because you can sit in front of your computer all day and, crank out content. But if you're then not getting that restorative rest you need, or if you're cranky or hangry when you're spending time with friends and family, what is the point?
Exactly. And it's funny that you said, I want to dive further into some of the other habits that you teach your clients and how you work with your clients. But I was going to say just about the sleep thing. So is it possible to be properly hydrated, but still have sleep issues that are tied to nutrition? Because I know for a fact, like last night, as a matter of fact, wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and then I'm like, "Nee," and I cannot get back to sleep. That was last night. And so I'm like, oh, how do I help
Okay.
myself when it comes to
Well,
sleep
let's
like that?
just be clear. I think it was a full moon last night.
All right.
Okay. So that can, for women, the full moon can actually affect your sleep a little bit. It's kind of that gravitational pull.
Okay.
But my big tip for sleep, if you're not already taking a magnesium supplement,
Mm-hmm.
this should be on your to-do list. So I like magnesium glycinate. Some people prefer magnesium threonate, but I take magnesium glycinate. I recommend 400 to 800 milligrams before you go to bed. So magnesium helps your muscles relax, and it just helps us get a deeper sleep. So if you're not taking a magnesium supplement, every single cell in your body uses magnesium. And most of us are magnesium deficient because of the way we farm now. So all this industrial farming, all of the nutrients that we should be getting should come from our food. But because we're now monocropping, we're growing the same crops on the same land over and over again. Now we're using chemical fertilizers. We're not getting those same nutrient levels that we should be getting in our vegetables. So taking a magnesium supplement, almost everybody, you would have to eat so much kale. Like, let's just be real. It's just easier to take the magnesium supplement and see how that goes. There are other supplements you can take, but a largely plant-based diet is really the key.
Yeah, haven't we heard that before,
Yeah.
but we don't do it. Ruth is asking about magnesium citrate.
The different magnesiums, some magnesiums can actually, like think milk of magnesia. So I like magnesium glycinate because it doesn't have those qualities. Magnesium threonate is nice because it actually is beneficial for brain health. So sometimes I take magnesium threonate in the mornings and magnesium glycinate at night. Some people take magnesium citrate. That's a personal, you can try that, see how it goes for you. I just happen to be I've had a lot of consistency with magnesium glycinate before bed.
Okay. And do you have a third thing? So we're talking about we want to get the right nutrition, we want to get the right sleep. What's kind of the third thing? And of course, we've already said about the nutrition, but do you have something else that you want to add to that?
Well, and I think we should just keep talking about sleep, because sleep is like, it's when your brain and all of your major organs detox from all the processes they go through during the day. So if you're robbing your sleep, and you see how all these things are connected, right? The hydration's connected to making better food choices. Making better food choices, help us sleep better at night. All these things help each other. They're synergistically connected. So anybody who's listening to this knows if you've had a horrible night's sleep, you do not wake up and feel like you can take on the world. If you've had a great night's sleep, you wake up before your alarm goes off. You're jumping out of bed. You're like filled with ideas. That's the goal. We want to get there. So think of sleep as this. You're like an electric car, and sleep is when we're plugging you in to recharge. And your goal is to be fully recharged when you wake up in the morning. I'm going to give you a great hack here. The sleep you get before midnight is higher quality than the sleep you get after midnight.
Really? Why?
I'm not exactly sure why. It's in all these studies. So you want to be capitalizing on that early sleep. So, when I'm coaching night owls, I'm always like, oh, how are we going to move your bedtime up a little bit? We got to move that bedtime up. I'd rather you got up early than went to bed late.
Yeah, for sure. I just saw something. Oh, here you go. Suzanne wanted to know you're showing her there the electrolyte drops that you recommend.
Yeah. If you go to the culinaricure.com and you can go into the shopping section, and I have them. I make no money on Amazon, but I put them there so they're easy to find. But I met with the medical director of Trace Minerals. There we go, Trace Minerals. And they get all their minerals from the Great Salt Lakes. So you want to make sure wherever you're getting your electrolyte drops from, that they are made from salts formed before pollution. Otherwise, you can get microplastics.
Oh my God.
So, I know.
We could
Nothing is simple.
Nothing
is simple. But if you want to build your brand, start with hydration. Move away from refined carbohydrates and ultra-processed foods. Be careful with caffeine and alcohol. I like a glass of wine every now and then, but I've had to step away from coffee. I'm doing more green tea now. So really look at how you can align your habits to support your big picture goals. 43% of what you do every single day is mindless repetition. You don't think, you just do. So what we want to do is we want to put your wellness on autopilot by getting your habits aligned with your big picture wellness goals, and then do the same thing for your business. You want to put the right habits in place to support the long-term growth and viability of what you're building.
I want to pause here for a second, and I want to ask the people in the Zoom room with us, what of these habits that we're talking about here, what's the one that is the hardest or seems like the hardest for you to change right now? Does it have to do with hydration? Does it have to do with the proper sleep? Does it have to do with exercise? What is it that is the hardest for you? And I'll say for me, it's probably, I think it would probably be the habit of like the glass of wine, like having more than one at a sitting or things like that. And then of course, the coffee thing is a real habit for me, but we do actually do half calf. So I feel like, well, at least I'm halfway there. But Annalise says exercise. Gabriella says going to bed early. Anybody else want to chime in there? But, tell us, how do you change these habits?
Well, you start with one.
Okay.
So I always say to people, don't take something away, add something. So add the hydration, work on creating a hydration practice. So I found out after years of coaching people that if I could get them hydrated, I could make those other changes more easily. So getting to the gym is a big one for people. So just start with the hydration. The weather's getting nice. Just get outside a little more, walk around the block, take the stairs, park farther away from the grocery store. Food is 80% of the wellness equation.
Wow.
80%. Exercise is only 20%. Now I go to different workouts and I see the same people all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been working out with these people for years and nothing has changed in their physical demeanor. They probably have good cardio health and good lung capacity, but they have not changed their bodies in a way that I would assume that's why they're at the gym.
Wow.
So that means they haven't changed what they're eating. So what you put in you has the biggest effect on your ability to be healthy and to build a healthy brand, because these two things are connected. So if you want to build a healthy brand, you've got to start with healthy habits for your personal self.
Yeah. And so what happens when, okay, so we're doing this thing, we're like, okay, I'm doing really good. It's like the first 3 or 4 days, and then I fall off the habit, or half the wagon rather, and I have, as JD put it, the 2 p.m. chip fix. Then what?
The 2 p.m. what?
2 p.m. chip fix.
Oh yeah, that's a tough time. That's when you have to, I have a great tip for this because, I do coach people all the time, and 2 to 3 p.m. is a really tough time. That's when you have a blood sugar dip. And that's why you get bored. Let's be honest. People, we're bored at 2 p.m. We've been working. I don't know about you. I mean, I've been working since 8. So by 2 p.m., I'm kind of like, what else can I do? The best thing you can do, first of all, I love a cup of peppermint tea. That can really kind of revitalize you a little bit. Get outside, walk around the block, change your environment, put on some music. It's your body and brain are telling you something. And it's not telling you to go into the kitchen and eat a bag of chips. It's telling you you've been doing that same thing for too long. So it's time to get up and do something different. And I don't know if you've talked about the Pomodoro technique in other programs that you've done.
No, I haven't, but I mean, I know what it is. I think a lot of people heard about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, the Pomodoro is a way of working where you work for 15 or 20 minutes. I think that's what it is. And somebody may know more than I do. I practice this in my own modified version, but you work for 20 minutes and then you get up and you take a break, you walk around, you throw in a load of laundry, you get the mail, you do something else, and then you come back and work again. And you work in these small bursts because you have more focus and more creativity when you work that way. You actually get more done, instead of just sitting there and trying to muscle through, which is what we've all been taught to do because we all went to school and you had to sit still for an hour and, sit through a class or whatever. So the better way is to get up and move around, give yourself permission, and see that as a productivity tool. Not, oh my God, I should be able to just get this done, but like, oh my God, my body's telling me to do something else. So don't open the bag of chips, walk outside, walk around the block, make sure you're hydrated, have a cup of herbal tea, throw on some music, do a distraction. But that's the best way to get through that. And then about the sleep, here's a big tip for everybody. And I've coached hundreds of people who say, oh, I am just a night owl. And what we do when we look at their food and activity chart, what we find is that they've stayed up past their tired time and gotten a second wind. And then they went to the kitchen, they got a little second snack. And now they're wide awake and they're, either watching something or they're doing something online. And now the screen is lighting up the neurons in their brain and there's not going to be a good night's sleep. So I really encourage people to look at their schedule, move back their bedtime a half an hour incrementally to try to get to a place where you can get up without your alarm going off.
Interesting. So, right. So for me, and we have a question here, but before I get that question, for me, I'll go to bed at 9, let's say. And so I'm getting about 3 hours of sleep prior to midnight. Would you say that that's a good thing for people to strive for, or should we be going to bed sooner?
No, I think nine's a good time. I get into bed 8:39. I read a paper book for a little bit. All right. So here's for anybody who maybe doesn't know it, there's some little things you want to do to ensure a good night's sleep. You need a cool, dark, and quiet room. And when we say cool, we're talking 64 degrees.
Oh my God, my husband would kill me.
Yeah, cool. Get a nice down comforter, and I'll tell you why. Your body and brain need to cool down 1 to 3 degrees for you to get that deep restorative rest. Whoa. So you might be sleeping, but remember, this is all about quality. We want that quality sleep.
Yeah. So we just have to invest in another comforter.
So cool, dark. Your room should be dark. So if there's light coming from around your windows or ambient light or light from like an alarm clock or something, get yourself some darkening, eye patch for night, and quiet. Little soft foam earplugs. You can buy them at the drugstore. I have to clip them down. Otherwise I can't really get them in nice and tight, and I just cut them down. Cool, dark, and quiet. That's the trifecta of a good night's sleep. And you got to have that good night's sleep so you wake up and you jump out of bed and you're ready to tackle your day.
I love that. And then Annalise asks if you have any recommendations for a mom with 2 under 3 to fit in exercise organically. And, she's asking for a friend.
Yeah. And she's not going to like the answer.
Uh-oh.
The answer is there's only so much found time in your day, and it's early in the morning. So my graphic designer has 3 little kids, and she and I have had to coach her relentlessly to do her running in the morning while her hubby can watch the kids. And she now gets up and she's out and back before the kids wake up. So you're going to have to find some found time. Either, it's tough when your kids are little because you could spend all your time doing stuff for your family. You really could. Here's the deal. We could all spend all our time being all things to all people. We actually have to work at finding the time for ourselves that we need so we can continue to be all those things to all those people. So you've got to really fiercely guard your self-care and your wellness. Otherwise, you're just giving it away. You're depleting. You're taking money out of the bank and you're not putting anything back in.
Yeah. And it's real that even with, I don't have young children. I mean, mine's 10. But even with that, it's like there's that, level of guilt that's in the back of your head. This logically. No, I need to have my own time. I need to create this, like fill the cup. All right. But still, there's that little thing in the back of your head, like, really? Like, you need to be downstairs helping your daughter,
Right.
like, get ready for school,
Right.
not sitting up here doing your meditation. Sometimes that comes up.
Well, and listen, even for me, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I could be doing this instead of meditating. It's always a trade-off. Schedule it. Put it on your schedule. And if it means that you have to set your day up the night before to make it a little bit easier, do that. But the found time is crucial, and getting your exercise in is going to make you a better parent. It's going to make you a better partner. It's going to help your business. And, we've got to stop thinking that these things don't matter, because they do, and they add up and they chip away over time. And then you can't be using the last of you to build your business because the quality isn't there. So you've got to get those self-care things in, and self-care for you will translate into well-care for your business too.
So good. And I want to just point out too, and we've got a couple of things I want to ask, but before we do that, I know that you have a couple of things you'd like to, like, you have a freebie that you want to give away, and you have a mini course that people can take that will actually help them with this mindset and self-care combination. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and also the freebie?
Sure. And I hope you can't hear all that drilling, because apparently they've decided to drill right outside of my condo today don't
I,
even
I
know what they're doing,
I
but
still don't hear it over here,
all
so I
right,
think you're good.
good. Good. So I do have a confidence habit stacking tool that's the freebie, right, Melissa? We
Yes.
put that one in there.
Yep.
And what it is, it actually, you teed this up perfectly, is it teaches you how to make your habits align to help you have that confidence so that you can get through your days and get more done. And it really starts before you go to bed, but it's just one continuous circle that you want to put these steps in place that become habits. Because when we first started talking, we talked about the fact that 43% of what we do every day is mindless repetition. We don't think, we just do. Those are our habits. And what we want to do is make sure our habits are actually supporting our big picture goals. So you should get the freebie because, well, it's free. And it's also got some positive affirmations. And positive affirmations, I mean, a lot of people are like, ooh, woo. Well, it's not woo. What it is it's self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
So when you tell yourself positive things over and over and over again, you believe them, and it makes it more possible for you to do them. It gives you the confidence to take the risks, to, go out on a limb with something, to, take a different direction with something. So the confidence habit stacking tool it's a great tool. It'll help you just kind of start your day powered up. And then the program, my partner, Amy Schmidt, and I developed a program called Mind and Body Confidence. And we developed this program because there was really nothing out there. You could find millions of programs about mindset and confidence, and you could find millions of programs about, what you could be eating, and how to use nutrition. But there wasn't one program that just tied these two together nicely and easily. So we created a 14-day course. I teach the first week, and it's all about how to create that hydration practice, how to use food intentionally, how to improve your sleep. So I teach those in segments, and then Amy teaches the mindset part. So we tie these two together because we are all busy. Like, nobody has time to take a confidence course and then a wellness course. So we tied these together. It takes about, 15, 20 minutes a day. You get recipes, you get a shopping list. It's kind of like, listen, if you're struggling and you need to hydrate better, just buy the course and then it's yours and you can take it over and over again and practice it. So we tied these two together to help people really. You got to move the needle. And, if it was easy, you would have done it already. It's not easy. Sometimes you need a coach. And that's what we're talking about here today. What's the next right thing for you in your wellness? What's the next right thing for you in your business? And you need both of them to be successful.
That's so good. That's so good. Before we pop off here, and I want to let everybody know who's in the room with us, when we go off the live, we're going to go ahead and let you ask Kristen your specific questions. So if you didn't, if you're feeling a little shy because we are live, we will have more time with her after we do this. But is there anything that we didn't talk about here that you wish I would have asked you that you'd love to share?
Well, I think I want to just share that finding it's hard to know what you need next when you're building a business. And finding a trusted advisor who can tell you the next right thing for you and where you are in your business is money really well spent. So I spent a lot of money on things that I wasn't ready for, and it didn't help me. So it's a business. Your goal is to make money. It should be something you're really passionate about. But when you work alone, you're in a vacuum and it's overwhelming. It's confusing. You see everything on social media that other people are doing, and it can pull you away from what the next best step for you is. So you need someone that's going to be like, here's the plan. This is how this works. This is the next step. And that's money well spent, and I wish somebody had really advised me on that early on. I could have saved probably a small fortune. Mm-hmm. And I would have had my brand up and running a whole lot sooner. I would have been making money sooner. And then I would have known the right things to be spending money on.
Oh my God, I second that wholeheartedly, because the same for me. Early on, I was doing all the things, and yes, everything that popped into my inbox was like shiny, new, amazing, like this was going to catapult me, that sort of thing. And then it wasn't until I went and got my own dang brand coach and said, help me figure this out. And we spent that time and really like diving into those areas, and then giving you, like, really gave me a lot of confidence about the direction I was heading. And then I was like, could put the blinders on finally and just be like, no, this is what's right for me now. And as I grow, then it's like, okay, then the next thing gets layered on. Like if I had started doing this show back then, it would have been like a hot mess.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have devoted the time, because I would be still thinking, oh my God, I also have to be on 5 different social media platforms, and I've got to, create, whatever it is, like have the book and do all the things. So I think that is like the perfect thing to end on for sure. So tell us. Yeah,
and let's just be clear, Instagram is not a paying job. Okay.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm on Instagram, and I've just recently had to step away a little bit because it takes so much time to post, to answer, to go to other people's Instagram and do stuff. And Instagram's making a lot of money, but I'm not. So you've got to be really like, where are your people? Yes, I love Gabriella. Yes. She's the best. Yeah, you could spend all your time, but it doesn't pay you. And what are you going to, there are a few people who, like, people offer to send me stuff all the time. I don't want that stuff, right? Yeah. Free stuff. They want you to talk about the free stuff. I don't want that. People offer all the time to post things on my website. I have fought tooth and nail to keep my website. I hope you'll all go and look at the Culinary Cure, because I haven't taken banners and ads, because I'm just so opposed to that. And I'm sure I could make money doing that, but that's not how I want to make my money. My people want to have a positive experience with wellness in a very accessible way. And if they've got to scroll through a bunch of crap to find what they're looking for, that's not a positive experience. So you've got to decide how you're making your money and start there.
So good. So good. Thank you so much. So y'all, if you want to get in contact with Kristen, we've popped that information into the chat, and we will be doing that as well on the live once we end this show. And I want to just say thank you so much for coming on the show with me and helping everyone learn how to change their habits, how to create wellness, confidence, so they can show up as the rock star coaches that they are. So if you didn't, and you're still out there, you didn't register to get in the room with us today, let's fix that. We will be putting a link into the chat, or not to the chat, to the live, on how you can register for upcoming shows, because next time we come on, which is Monday, March 20th, we're going to be talking about how you're going to be creating your clear client attraction channel. And we're going to have Mary Kravitz, founder of Simply Get Clients, on the show. So anyway, thanks again, y'all, for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.